So, whenever I tell people that New Hampshire is a low tax state, they like to bring up that New Hampshire has high property taxes. And I do appreciate the passion, and I also share the, wanting of lower property taxes. But I want to debunk this frequently spoken gotcha, I guess, and explain why it's not really the mic drop that people think it is to New Hampshireites. So, the property tax issue, you got to remember property taxes averages can be thrown off by cliffhangers. So, New Hampshire has a lot of really high tax coastal seacoast property and some really high tax cities like Claremont, Keene, and just some really very lake houses that have really high tax rates. These can throw the average way off. However, that doesn't affect somebody that chooses to live in a town that doesn't have that tax rate. So you can live in a town with a tax rate that's the same or lower than a neighboring state like Vermont or Massachusetts, Maine, Connecticut, whatever. I mean, there's towns with tax rates as low as $9 per thousand, and they're not out in the middle of nowhere. They're decent towns. So if you choose to live in a high tax town, then you're going to pay those taxes, but that doesn't affect everyone. So if you're going to have a high tax, that's kind of the best high tax to have because you don't have to leave the whole state to avoid paying it. Meanwhile, New Hampshire has a 0% sales tax, income tax, excise tax, inventory tax, capital gains tax. I'm holding my phone with my other hand, so I can't also add, but we're on 6 for zeros. That'd be interest, and also no dividends tax. Those are going away. They're sunsetting this year. So with all those 0%, states like Massachusetts have all above 0%. No matter where you live in a state with those taxes, you're going to pay the same rate, except minus maybe excise tax. So I often say, well, even if you live in a town where you moved from Massachusetts or Vermont, and you paid $24 per thousand in your Massachusetts town, and now you live in New Hampshire, so now you pay $29 per thousand. So $5 more per thousand on your property tax rate. I see this all the time for comparable towns. So what are we really talking about for numbers here? Well, every $100,000 your house is worth is another $500 a year in property taxes compared to where you used to live. Just gonna make sure I'm on the right trail here. There we go. So if you have a $200,000 house and you have a $200,000 house in New Hampshire where you move, you would pay another $1,000 a year in property taxes. But let's just take a state like Massachusetts that has a 6.25% or 6% income tax. You can look up the exact numbers. I'm kind of just going off memory here. They have about a 6% income tax. So if you make $100,000 a year, $6,000. $50,000 a year, $3,000. $25,000 a year, around, I don't know, $1,750 in taxes. I mean, you're going to make $25,000 a year if you work at McDonald's. So let's just say, you clear an $80,000 a year or so. You have a $4,000 tax burden just in your income taxes. This is before you've paid any taxes on your car, your excise taxes, or if you buy and sell property, or you maybe sell stocks, you're going to pay capital gains taxes, interest taxes, dividends. If you have investments, you're going to pay dividends taxes. But we're not even talking about all those. We're just talking about one tax, which is income tax, which in New Hampshire is 0%. Of course, we have no sales tax, and so you're spending another $1,000 a year to live in New Hampshire. And if you make $100,000, you're saving $6,000. So you're paying more in property tax by $1,000, and then you subtract $6,000. So now you're negative $5,000 tax burden. And when you add in all the other taxes and everything, it'll be well over probably $10,000. If you're an average person that has investments and buys things, your and this is the metric that is the most important to look at when you're looking at a state to move to. It's called overall tax burden per capita. So don't let people try to do these mic drops, especially if you're from New Hampshire. Make sure you defend this. Not to losers that shouldn't move here, like Democrats, but somebody that's passionate about liberty and will understand basic math. Explain to them that despite the higher average national property tax here in New Hampshire, you still come out way on top, like ridiculously on top. It's not a mic drop. There's not even a microphone involved in that. But people, it ends conversations about New Hampshire all the time. So anyway, just want to make this quick video that New Hampshire's great. See you later.